So, with the 2024 Oscars just around the corner, I thought I'd give my predictions on who would win the major categories. Now, there's gonna be a couple categories I'm gonna omit, such as the documentary ones and the short film ones, mainly because I haven't seen any of the films in each of those categories. And with that down, let's get to the nominations. For Best Animated Feature Film, I think there's really only two viable picks here. Sure, Elemental was good, and Nimona and Robot Dreams, I haven't even heard of either of those. But I really think it's going to come down to The Boy and the Heron and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The latter of which I believe is going to win. Not only does it sound phenomenal, does it look phenomenal, it's one of the best films of last year. So I'm going with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, this category is going to be an easy one for me. I mean, Ryan Gosling was great, Mark Ruffalo also great. Both Robert De Niro and Sterling K. Brown are pretty much way behind the two I mentioned earlier, and seeing the story around it, his wins at the SAG Awards and the Golden Globes, I really think Robert Downey Jr.'s got this one easily in the bag. Another category I feel like is going to be a pretty obvious one looking at the nominations. I mean, while America Ferrera was good in Barbie, I don't think it really warrants a nomination. Emily Blunt has very little screen time, and Daniel Brooks and Jodie Foster feel like they are behind the other two I just mentioned. Divine Joy Randall's pretty much got this one in the bag. Best Cinematography is a pretty well-rounded category. You've got two great-looking Netflix films, you've got a very quirky-looking film in Poor Things, and a more traditional one in Killers of the Flower Moon. But I mean, Oppenheimer's got this, there's no other way around it. It's not only up there as Christopher Nolan's best-looking films, but it's also Hoytvan Hoytma's best-looking film as well. So I'm picking Oppenheimer to win this one. Now for makeup and hairstyling, I kind of was a bit surprised that either Barbie and Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't in here. I haven't seen Golda or Society of the Snow. Oppenheimer isn't the film you think of when it comes to makeup and hairstyling. So it's really a two-horse race at that point, and it's pretty much 50-50. I'll go for Poor Things. I feel like this category is another one that has a very obvious winner. I mean, three of them are historical dramas, which are fine, but aren't necessarily the ones that really have the most innovative costume designs, and Barbie wasn't anything great either, so another technical category goes to Poor Things. For International Feature Film, The Zone of Interest, because it's the only one I've seen. Now for production design, it's the same nominees as costume design, but I'm going for Barbie this time around. It wouldn't be what it is without the fabulous and amazing production design. For Best Original Score, I was really bummed not seeing Daniel Pemberton for Across the Spider-Verse in here, and especially given that he was subbed out for Indiana Jones, it would have been a really close race between that and Oppenheimer. Nevertheless, Ludwig Göransson gives the score of his career. From Quantum Mechanics, to Can You Hear the Music, to Trinity, it's one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard. For Best Visual Effects, I'm picking The Creator. I've heard a lot of good things about Godzilla -1, but haven't seen it yet. Best Original Screenplay. This is going to be one that I'm probably going to sway away from the overwhelming majority in that I'm picking Past Lives. I was underwhelmed by both Maestro and May December, and while Anatomy of a Fall and The Holdovers are great original screenplays, I'm a sucker for slow-paced, slice-of-life dramas. For Best Adapted Screenplay, I'm picking Oppenheimer. Barbie should be a original screenplay, I don't know why it's even in here. Both Poor Things and The Zone of Interest were great, and American Fiction I have not seen yet, so I'm going with Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Now for Best Sound, The Creator is in here, Maestro is in here, Mission Impossible is in here. All three of those are not as good as the other two on the list. It's really going to come down to Oppenheimer or The Zone of Interest, but sound plays a big factor in The Zone of Interest, in how it shapes the characters and the story. So I'm picking Jonathan Glazer's The Zone of Interest to win, but I wouldn't really be surprised if Oppenheimer won this category as well. For Best Original Song, she's already won one, but I really think What Was I Made For is the song out of the bunch here. I feel like she's going to be one of those artists that has a lot of Oscar wins under her belt when it's all said and done. Best Film Editing. I mean, there really is no bad pick here. You could go with any one of these five and I wouldn't be surprised or shocked by it. But if there was a film that had editing that pushed it to another stratosphere in terms of quality, I think it's Oppenheimer with Jennifer Lame. A lot of that film's pacing and intensity comes from the editing room. And those two aspects are very critical in making that a masterpiece of a film. Best Director. Christopher Nolan's got this one. I had some contentions between him and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, but the hype and aura around Oppenheimer is still very much strong. That, and I think it's time to really crown him after the numerous snubs throughout his career. Actor in a leading role, this was a cloudy one for a while, but I think Cillian Murphy has this one in the bag. Paul Giamatti winning this, while cool, isn't the right fit right now. I feel like I and most film fans are eager to crown Oppenheimer almost every award in every category, and Best Actor is just one of those obvious wins at this point. Now going from the easiest pick to one of the most hardest of the year. It's a very tight race between the two stones. It's as 50-50 as you can get, and I think Lily's gonna squeeze this one out. She's one of the two that has the momentum going for her right now. She won a SAG Award and a Golden Globe, and given that those two award shows just recently happened, and that she's the one that stands out the most out of the casting Killers of the Flower Moon, I think Lily Gladstone is gonna be the winner of Best Actress in a Leading Role. And finally, Best Picture. So given the amount of awards it already won, the amount of critical acclaim surrounding it, and the fact that it nearly reached $1 billion in its box office, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer is the best picture of 2024. So there you have it, my picks for the 2024 Oscars. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.